Swarajya Samrajya Vibhutiresha Bhavat Kripa Shri Mahima Prasadat Prapta Maya Shri Gurave Mahatmani Namo Namaste Stu Punarnamostu Namo Namaste Stu Punarnamostu Namo Namaste Stu Punarnamostu Namastasmai Sadaikasmai Kasmai Chinmahase Namaha Yadetad Vishwarupena Rajati Guru Rajati Yadetad Vishwarupena Rajati Guru Rajati. Hari Om Tat Sat. Devotion means what is the only one devotion? Definition of devotion is surrender. And what is the meaning of surrender? That is the other question somebody has given. Meaning of surrender means complete acceptance of whatever is happening.
Yeah.
How do you test it? You will not have any complaint at all. As long as you have any complaint about his life, about your life, that my husband is like this, I cannot bear this, or my wife is like this, or my boss is like this or that, or the situation, I have always been tortured by providence. Every time I have to feel I am doing something, I am failing here, failing there. These are all complaints about the situation. That means lack of surrender. If we are surrendered to Lord, and the Lord is doing everything, there is nothing else who can do. Lord is encompassing everything. So there cannot be any complaint. So where will you find such a devotee who has total acceptance, who does not have any complaint about anything in life? He may fight revolution also, thinking of the society is going wrong. If he feels he can lead a mass movement, revolution can be there. But in that also he will have full surrender, that if his movement is successful, fine, it has been successful. If it is unsuccessful, then also it is fine. Maybe the time has not come to set right the things. It will come sometimes and it will go. So it is not easy to understand whether a person is really surrendered or not also, which is the real definition of bhakti. We say bhakti and all thinking that he goes 5 times a day to the mandir, and he goes to Ram Mandir, Kali Mandir and all, so he is a very great devotee. It is all wrong. It's not a devotional definition at all. A person who has never gone to a temple can be much more a devotee. Whatever you may say, the devotion means what? Ultimate devotion meaning is surrender.
Surrender, yeah.
Keep your thoughts always focused, then the difficulties will be less. What is the second question there? See?
Bliss can be experienced in the mind, so how can a no mind situation lead to realization of bliss?
What is that bliss? What is your definition of bliss?
Bliss means that ananda, when even if you are in meditation, or if you are in dhyana, so you find certain...
See, there are 2 kinds of things here. One is that when you are getting touch with the ananda of our inmost level, we feel that we are flooded with joy, flooded with ananda, which we have never tested. At that point the mind is still there, the knower or seer or feeler is still existing. It is not the ultimate samadhi state or anything. If you are in nirvikalpa samadhi, no joy will be there. People are not able to attain the nirvikalpa samadhi because they cling to the joy. Earlier they were clinging to the worldly joy coming from small, small things. When they meditate and finally get to that soul dimension, the soul ananda, then that becomes their main focus. And every day they want to taste that bliss, what we call bliss, the Atmananda. It is called Atmananda. That joy they want to taste again and again. And that becomes their end. That becomes the greatest obstacle for them. So, the Shastras caution that there you have to get rid of your again seeking the taste of joy. Unless you are able to overcome, you will not be able to progress further. In the ultimate state, where there is, we call it no mind or whatever, the Nirvikalpa Samadhi, there is no this kind of a joy at all. But when you come out, you feel that the absence of the worldly agitation and everything, it gives such a kind of a peaceful feeling. That also is often referred to as a bliss. It is not the bliss.
So it means, Swamiji, whenever one is in Nirvikalpa Samadhi, at that time, the experience of bliss...
No experience, it is just a zero experience.
But when coming back to the world, coming out of that Samadhi, then you can experience a bliss.
No, you will have a feeling of very peaceful. That will happen even when you are anesthetized. Suppose you are given anesthesia.
Or I am sleeping.
Yeah. स्लीपिंग तो समझ में नहीं आता बिकॉज बाद में फिर ड्रीम आ जाता है, खत्म हो जाता है. व्हेन यू आर अनकॉन्शियस आइदर बाय मेडिसिन और बाय एक्सीडेंट, व्हेन यू आर कमिंग बैक टू द कॉन्शियसनेस यू फील अ ग्रेट साइलेंस एंड पीस. इफ एनीबडी हैज द एक्सपीरियंस यू कैन टेल मी. आई हैव द एक्सपीरियंस. व्हेन यू कम बैक फ्रॉम द एनेस्थीसिया you feel that shanti and that kind of a no signal. We call it no signal state. That means, suppose you had not felt that no signal state, then you would not know that you were unconscious. Say unconsciousness was for 1 second or even 1 minute or 1 hour or 1 day. There is no difference because at that point time will not be registered. So before the unconscious state and after the unconscious state, you feel a gap there. That only, how long was the gap you cannot say, but there is a gap when I did not know anything. That happens in sleep also, provided you are able to track it. So that is the no signal state. But the consciousness knows that no signal state also. That is why we say that this consciousness is the revealer of everything in our normal awareness or when we are unaware also. That unawareness also is reflected by the consciousness. So it is not personally limited consciousness which is the awareness. It is the transcendental consciousness. But any experience, be clear about it, any experience, whatever it is, God experience or self, any kind of an experience, it happens in the body-mind personality. Without that there is no experience. Sharira is called Sharira because it is a seat of experience. But when we understand, realize the truth, all these experiences are just appearing in the consciousness. The whole world is also a state of consciousness, you can say. How to surrender? Anywhere this how to is actually you have to do it. And then only you will know how to. Now, everything can be done if you have a proper understanding for it, understanding of it, and you have a love for it. That by understanding what will happen, if you consider it to be something great, something good, then you will develop a real love for it. And that love actually works the way. It is not how or anything at all. Suppose you want purity. If you go on saying, I want purity, well, there is another method like that, but just by wanting, it is a desire, it will not happen. But if you love purity, what is the test that you love purity? You will be happy seeing a person, pure person also. That is, it will not be only your purity you love. If you really like the virtue, whether it is in you or in a, suppose you like a efficient working or impersonal working of a person, you want to become impersonal, but the love for that particular quality will be known. When you see somebody doing like that, you will be very much appreciating, you will be very much loving, appreciating that quality in that person, although it is not in you. So there is a test there. If you look for the quality only in you, and if you see in the other person you become jealous of that person, then it is not the love for the quality. It is only an egoistic desire. If you are really looking for self, yearning for self, if you see somebody is vibrating with the self-realized, somebody is self-realized, you will automatically appreciate and develop a love for him. You will never think that, oh, he has become, I have not become. As long as, this is a test by which we can see that whether I have developed a love for this virtue or not. Similarly, surrender means what? Surrender means, as we were discussing yesterday, that the whole universe is a play of the three gunas. You can say three gunas, you say, that is our Shastric model. Otherwise you can say nature. It is a play of all the elementary particles and everything together. The life forces, they are also dependent. So many things together. It's all a play of nature. It's a play of the three gunas, we are saying. And I am nowhere connected to it. Gunebhyascha param vetti. Yesterday we discussed. Gunebhyascha param vetti. That means I am able to discover something called my own identity, the I-ness, which is not tainted, affected or entangled with the gunas at all. Then what will happen? Whatever is happening in the universe, it is a nature's play. Will you be affected by it? No. If it is good for me, suppose the nature gives you a Nobel Prize or something very great, you will not be elated. You will appreciate, oh, they have understood my writing or my quality or whatever reason you have been awarded. You will be happy that your quality has been appreciated. If it is not, you may feel a little unhappy that it is not appreciated, but you will never be depressed for that. So happiness, unhappiness, everything will be there depending on the situation, but you will always remain unaffected by that. Now the surrender initially, as long as we don't know the truth, we have to practice surrender. The thinking that I cannot do anything, the kartri bhava, bhoktri bhava, I don't have anything, I cannot do anything also, it is nature's, it has to go in its own manner. But once you know the truth, then you find that you are already surrendered. You don't have to surrender also. Why? Because you cannot do anything. That karta is not there in you. It is nature. Even if you do something great also, it is because of nature only that you have been able to do. If seeing a criminal, you will feel that if I had been in position, I would have also become a criminal. Fortunately, I have passed through a good family, good environment, and I have become what I am. But had I been in his position, so you will no more hate the criminal also. So surrender is a very simple state of observing the world as it is and knowing ourselves also as we are. So initially it is a sadhana of whenever the ego is coming, you are trying to dissolve the ego. Whenever non-acceptance, surrender on the other hand means acceptance of everything, because it is done by the Lord. So from bhakti angle also, everything is done by God, so why should I worry about anything? Whatever He does, it is done by Him.
It means we should not take any action about it.
You can do, that is also propelled by nature, but you will not think that I am doing. Your body-mind personality is acting. That vision will become so clear that it is our body-mind personality is a product of nature, and according to that it is reacting. You will not identify yourself with that, but the body-mind suddenly, when you are taking food, you will not think that the other person is taking food. You will take food, but your identity will get shifted to the higher level. Without bhakti, there cannot be surrender also. The height of bhakti, the parakashtha, the peak of bhakti is surrender. But knowledge also leads to surrender, and knowledge is never fulfilled without surrender, but the knowledge has the special thing that when you know that I have always been surrendered, but I never knew that I am surrendered. I have nothing to do, nothing to enjoy also. It's a whole play of nature.
It's a combination of everything puts together spirituality. Bhakti plus knowledge.
Everything, we differentiate between this, like this people ask, are you in Bhakti Marga, Karma Marga or Jnana Marga or Raja Yoga? These are all for a non-practitioner. Once you start really walking the path, all will be together. It cannot be different. It is all mixed together. How can you have a knowledge without bhakti? Bhakti means the emotional association of our being. Until your emotional yearning, association is there with the knowledge will remain theoretical. You will know all the Upanishads, all the Vedas, but it won't work. So, bhakti is in the whole process, the emotional association of our whole being. The emotional part is called bhakti. So, in Viveka Chudamani, Shankaracharya has defined bhakti as swaswarupānusandhānam. What is that? Bhaktiritya vidhiyate. That is intensely looking for our own identity. Swaswarupa anusandhanam. Searching our own identity in a one-pointed manner. That is the bhakti. Bhakti does not mean that always you have to do some Deva, Devi or Lord like that. It need not be. Because God is nothing different from our own self. The greatest sloka is in Bhagavatam. The Bhagavatam is considered to be the Shrestha Bhakti Grantha. Srimad Bhagavatam. Vadanti tat tattva vidaha tattvam yajnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavan iti shabdyate. Vadanti tat tattva vidaha. Those who know the truth, they say. What do they say? Tattvam yat jnanam advayam. That is the truth. What is the truth? It is the advaya jnana, the non-dual knowledge. What is non-dual knowledge? I can explain later. Now let us accept that the tattva is non-dual knowledge, advaya jnanam. Vadanti tat tattva vidaha tattvam yad jnanam advayam. Remind you, this is Bhagavatam, not Vivek Chudamani or anything. It is the Shrestha Bhakti Grantha considered by all the devotees. But Brahmeti Paramatmeti Bhagavan iti shabdyate. That which is Advaya Jnana, that itself is considered as Brahman by our Upanishads, or Brahman is a definition given in Upanishads. That itself is considered as Paramatma by the spiritual practitioners, that the Atma and the cosmic Atma, they are the same, that is Paramatma. And Bhagavan by the religious people, those who are devoted religiously, they consider that to be the Bhagavan. Now because of their immature ideas, everybody is passing over to further and further maturity. When we start, we may have an image of Bhagavan, something, there will be so many crores of images also. We like somebody consider that to be God. As we go further, we think of a cosmic being, something sitting somewhere else, controlling everything. It is different for different person as it is evolving. Finally, you end up with Lord finding that Bhagavan is right here and not even here. He is what I am. That itself is the Bhagavan. So, whether you call it Brahman as in the Upanishads, or Paramatma as for the spiritual practitioners, or Bhagavan, it is all same, and it is the Advaya Jnana, means non-dual knowledge. Now what is the non-dual knowledge? Generally in our other philosophies also, we have only two kinds of knowledge. One is Pratyaksha, another is Paroksha. Pratyaksha means direct perceptions, which we do with the sense organs. Prati Aksha, Aksha means the organs, sense organs, say eye. It is in front of the eye, so you are seeing something with the eyes. That is pratyaksha. Then comes paroksha, that you are not able to see with your senses, but you infer with your buddhi. Most of our knowledges are actually paroksha. We are not conscious about it. The whole physics is basically paroksha, not pratyaksha. It is depending on pratyaksha. Nobody has ever seen an atom or molecule or electron, proton, anything. And that is why the concept of the elementary particle goes on changing from atom, molecule to atom to electron, proton to further down to the elementary particles, so finally to Schrodinger wave, probability wave, all that. It is changing because it is not a question of a direct perception. We are finding in cloud chamber one streak is like this, one streak is like this, another streak is like that. From that we are deciding that one particle is behaving like a negative charge, another is positive, another is no charge. And we are naming them accordingly. So it is all inference. We are seeing the cloud chamber tracks, we are saying an elementary particle existing like this. But as we go advance further and further in physics also, the whole concept changes. What we consider to be materiality, that itself goes. Because we find that what is there depends on what we want to see also. There is something called electron diffraction experiment which changed the whole concept. From there we find that finally a particle can be here, can be there. You cannot say there is no particle like that at all. It's a probability of finding it here, there, etc. So the mathematical model it becomes. So even in science also it goes on changing because it is an inferential knowledge. Most of our knowledge, even the sun also, we are seeing the sun, but is the sun there? As the rays come, it gets diverted. The sun, when I am seeing there, it is still down there perhaps. Depending on the climatic condition, it is different also. In court also, the judge has not seen the culprit. He has not seen anybody killing anybody. But depend on the arguments presented by the advocate, he has to infer that is he the real person or not. Recently they have, yesterday they released some 4 or 6 people on the murder charges of so many, because the advocates could not present that. The judge, it's a full bench I think. They condemned the advocates and also the investigating team. It is a shoddy investigation. They have not been able to present the case properly. So they had to release on that basis because the inference is like that. So these pratyaksha and paroksha, the direct perception and inference is very common. Everywhere it is there. But in our shastras we have a third kind of a knowledge which is called aparoksha. Neither pratyaksha nor paroksha. For example, that I have a mind. Can you see your mind? Can you infer that you have a mind? If you infer, then suppose by inference I prove that you don't have a mind, will you accept it? You will say that no, I know. Inference might be wrong. But I know that I have a mind, and what is my mind? How do you know it? It's a direct knowledge. Similarly, that I am is the ultimate direct knowledge. That I am, it is neither pratyaksha nor paroksha. That I am, nobody can deny or nobody can prove otherwise. We are not going to accept also. So, this aparoksha is a direct perception. Direct perception means we are using the word, let us call it direct knowledge. Now what happens in spiritual investigation is that we are seeing the objects and we are told that God is within us or the Atma is there. So we start investigating into that Atma or God, that who am I, thinking that I want to know that I sense is coming from within. So naturally I cannot find I in the world, outer world, can you? The I sense is coming from within. So I will not try to find me there on the roof or in the tree. I will try to find me within. So as we start looking within, I find that I am the seer of the body, knower of the body, you can say. The body is not me, the body is undergoing a change. But I am the observer of the body from birth to whatever it has come. The body is undergoing change, all the changes I have been seeing. So I is the non-changing revealer of the body or seer of the body. Similarly, you look into the mind. The mind is undergoing change. It is sometimes having sukha, sometimes dukkha, sometimes anger, sometimes jealousy, sometimes noble thoughts. All these I am changing, I am seeing. So I, which is able to see the change, unless it is remaining non-changing, it will not see the changes. Suppose in the clock, if the dial also moves with the arms, will you know the time? It is because the dial is fixed and the arms are moving on it, it is indicating the motion. Similarly, suppose that I also had been changing with the mind, then the change of the mind it will not know. Some change to be detected, you have to have a substratum, unchanging platform. So I is the seer of the mind also, knower of the mind you can say, or revealer of the mind. It is revealer is, I consider it to be a more scientific term. He is the revealer of the mind. Similarly buddhi. Yesterday the buddhi was dull, today is a little sharper. Then something may happen, the buddhi may go also. All these things I am knowing. So I am the revealer of the buddhi also. So this I is revealing the body, revealing the mind, revealing the buddhi also. Then this I must be something transcendental to these three at least, beyond these three. As yesterday we were discussing, Indriyani paranyahu, indriyebhyah parammanah, manasastu parabuddhi, yo buddhehe paratastu saha. They are also indriyas, that is body, the mind, the buddhi, that which is transcending all these three, that is the truth, the soul they are saying. Now we want to find out that. Now be very attentive what I am going to say. Now we try to look for that I by looking within. That then what is that I? If I am not the mind also, not the buddhi also, then what is that I? You have to apply your knowledge, otherwise you will not be successful. At one point you have to think that I is the revealer of everything. If that I can be seen as something, known as that I, we want to look at I. That whenever our tendency is to look for something, we consider it to be different from me, is it not? I am seeing the mic, I am not the mic, I am seeing the mic. I am seeing the thoughts, I am not the thoughts, that is why I am able to see the thoughts. But can I see the I? Our very effort to see the I or know the I is making the I as an object. Do you get my point? Our tendency to discover the I want to discover the I as something different from me, which is impossible because I is the thing which is discovering. So that contradiction we have to discover one day, that this is not going to yield. What do you do then? Because the effort to discover our truth, our identity, makes the truth untruth, makes the truth different from me. So it is self-defeating. So should we not surrender our effort at that point? That is what I said, that surrender is the last point of discovery also. When we surrendered this effort, so far the effort has helped me. The effort to discover the self or I has taken me away from all my other involvements in the world, and many things have gone, many things have come. I am no more affected by anything. I can anytime get into meditation, I can get into the within without any problem. All these have happened by the effort, by self-effort. Now in the last point, if you want to discover who am I, that self-effort becomes the hindrance. Because that effort is making the I non-I, making the subject non-subject, making me different from me, which is impossible. So we are not able to. So that effort also has to be surrendered, dropped, whatever you may say. Now when we do that, the I reveals itself. The I, which is revealing the whole external world of objects, which is revealing the internal world of thoughts, emotions, buddhi, everything, that is also revealed by the I. That reveals itself at that point. Nobody else can reveal. Suppose anything else reveals the I, then that is the I and not what is revealed. All other things are revealed. I is the only revealer. So that revelation takes place in a non-dual state. Non-dual means that so far for any knowledge there is a difference between the knower and the known. I am studying the Upanishad, they are different from me. There is a difference between seer and the seen. There is a difference between perceiver and the perceived. Always there are two, duality. But this duality will never take us to this ultimate truth because it is beyond duality, transcending duality. There it is, in another language it is called, in Sanskrit it is called Triputi Nasha. Triputi Nasha means that knower, the process of knowing and the known. Seer, the process of seeing and the seen. Perceiver, the process of perceiving and the perceived. These three are not there. They have got merged into something transcendental. Even calling it one is not correct. They have all got merged. So there is no more. It is why it is so special, so famous. Because normally in our life we don't encounter such a thing where there is nothing to see. It is a self-revelation state. That is why it is highlighted so much. And this is called what is meant by Advaya knowledge or Aparoksha, non-dual knowledge. Advaya jnana, jnanam advayam, vadanti tat tattvavidaha, tattvam yad jnanam advayam, brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavaniti shabdyate. So some such great verses are there. Particularly this comes in the beginning state of Bhagavatam, which is considered to be the great devotional text. Anything you read in the 11th skanda, it is nothing different from the Upanishadic knowledge, from Vedanta. The whole Bhagavatam, the Ekadasha skandha is fully Vedanta. That is some of the dualists, they had not published the Ekadasha skandha. They had rejected that because they were against Advaita and Vedanta and all. So in their earlier publication, they were not putting the Ekadasha skandha. So much of conservative, constrictions are there in our mind. But actually that is the revelation of the truth, the whole Ekadasha skandha of Bhagavatam. Now coming back to it, that is called the Advaya knowledge or non-dual knowledge. That is why this Advaita Jnana is called non-dual. It is not called monistic. It is not oneness. When we believe in one, we call it monistic, pluralistic, monistic. That those who believe in one Lord, one God. Ekeshwara Vada. We are not given to any Vada like that. That is, we don't call ourselves to be monistic. That one Lord is there. No. We call non-dualistic. There is no duality, no Dvaita. If you say that, then Advaita is also a kind of a knowledge, how is it called Advaita? Yes, we accept that. Advaita is to remove the Dvaita from our mind. When Dvaita is removed, Advaita also loses its meaning. That is also thrown. And Ramakrishna Deva has explained it in a very simple, rustic language, as he always does, that you had gone to a thorny place where your dhoti had picked up a lot of thorns, and in your legs also thorns have gone in. To remove the thorns, you take another thorn, tough thorn, and remove all the thorns with that. After you have removed all the thorns, will you keep that thorn, one thorn, as your pet? Throw it, its purpose is gone. So like that, this Advaita knowledge, Advaya knowledge, Advaita, so-called Advaita Bada, this is also a philosophy. That is to remove that. For Dvaita we don't have to do anything. We are born with multiplicity around. So multiplicity is a common thing. We don't have to do any exercise, no sadhana is needed. But to remove the multiplicity, lot of sadhana is needed. That we do with the oneness. When the multiplicity is gone, by treating it with the truth, one truth, that the science also does. Science also is trying to reach the oneness only. But to a large extent, still they had the objective. Now they have removed the subject, object also has got in a way fused, but not to the full extent as in Vedanta. They come trying to think about it, of course. So the Advaita is needed as long as we are having the problem of Dvaita. When the Dvaita is removed by Advaita, then both are, we transcend, and that is called what it is. It is indescribable. There cannot be any philosophy for it. It is it can only be expressed as Neti Neti. In the morning we have that chanting, na, Shankaracharya? Yan Neti Neti Bachanair Nigama Avochuhu. Nigama means the Vedas, the Upanishads. About the truth about which the Upanishads are speaking as Neti Neti. Neti Neti means Na Iti, Na Iti. That is, if you say that, is it then one God? No. Is it then no God? No. Is it then multiple God? No. Anything we express? No. That means, what is yes? If you say something iti, iti means this is. That means it is becoming a concept of your mind. Do you understand that? Anything we say, that what is the truth then? Well, this is the truth if we can say iti. Then that truth becomes a concept of the mind. Because you have understood that, yes, this is the truth. You can never make it a concept of the mind. Any concept of the mind is a jada, it's an object. But one who is having the concept is the truth. You are the truth. When everything has fallen, you remain. Whatever remains, that is the truth. So by rejecting everything as neti neti, whatever remains is the truth. That is why nobody can defeat the Upanishads. That it has defeated itself and gone to the transcendental level, clearly mentioning all the truth. You see, in Bhagavatam, towards the end, it is saying that I have been speaking about these great kings, emperors, and this happened, this war, Hiranyakashipu, Prahlada, and what not. Know that these are all stories. It is only to imbue Viveka and Vairagya and Bhakti in you that we have studied, that all these huge emperors, where he is describing that emperor ruled the world for 2000 years and all. Nobody will live 2000 years. 2000 years he ruled. But the fact is that, the truth is there, that he also had to go. He could not carry the kingdom with him. My dear readers, please think about it, that you will not be able to carry your building or wife or husband or children with you. When you leave, you have to leave, or they will leave you and leave you alone. The scriptures, the greatness of our scriptures is there. They themselves are saying that it is so. We have described it for a certain purpose, to create some knowledge in you. Not that they are all true. The purpose, the truth lies in the eternal truth we are speaking about. The immortality of ourselves. Suppose in Aparokshanubhuti, which deals absolutely with the ultimate non-dual knowledge, there also he says that bhakti and karma together works that not only here, in Ishopanishad also it is said that bhakti and karma together, it works out better for most of the people. To take to exclusive jnana-nishtha is very, very rare. The fitness of the people will not be there for that. And in Aparokshanubhuti towards the end it is saying, if there are some desires, or say the root of some desires, it's called kashaya, that is desires, apparently I am feeling my mind is free of desires, but then why are you not able to know the truth? That means there is something. See how clear is their analysis. They are saying that you are repeatedly having samadhi, you are repeatedly doing this, even if you don't have samadhi, suppose you don't have any desire, but you are not able to get to the truth. You still have doubt about the truth. What for it is? Know that there is some desire in you. So he suggests that when there are desires in the mind, a little of Hatha Yoga with this knowledge also will be helping you. Because the body is not allowing you to have that kind of a purity. Hatha Yoga will purify your physical existence also, the body also. Say pranayama and all, these are all under Hatha Yoga. So pranayama purifies our life forces. So by that it purifies our body. Now the easiest is to, why not purify the body by taking the right input, proper food, proper quantity of food in proper time. That will definitely, directly will have the effect on the body. So you purify. If you have not done, and because of that you are not able to succeed in this pursuit, know that some desires are hiding, they are hidden inside, deep inside. And in such a case, some bit of Hatha Yoga also will be of great value. So everything will be needed in a way or other depending on how a person is going. What is his deepest desires or interest, depending on that. Once I had asked our Gurudev Baba something regarding this, not exactly. He said that in your physics studies you have states of potential energy. So suppose here it's a level, here it's a level. If you take an object from here to here, the difference of the level is the potential energy difference. Now you can go like this, you can go like this, or you can go like this. Any infinite number of ways can be there. But the difference of the two states, you are gone from this state to that state. Now which path you will take will depend on your mind, desires, your background, your history, how you are born, your heredity, everything will govern how you are going to reach that state. But if you have reached that state, whether you have gone like this or gone like this, it does not matter at all. That the straightforward process is simply knowledge, you go like that. Yeah, once you understand, because the buddhi is suffering from ignorance, that buddhi has to be relieved. In other places they give another example that there is a ripe mango on the tree. Beautiful red, अभी जो मिल रहा है दिल्ली में सिंदूरी, खट्टा है लेकिन देखने में सुंदर है. So you are seeing that beautiful mango on the tree. So you get one, क्या बोलते हैं आक्सी, क्या बोलते हैं उसको जो खींचने, whatever. So with a stick, no, not the stick के ऊपर एक जाली लगाया हुआ रहता है ना मुँह से. So it is not reaching. You climb, put a ladder, go like that, and finally you pull. With lot of effort you get it, but in the process it may fall outside and get split also. It may get destroyed also. There is a chance. So with so much of effort you are doing. Another bird is sitting on the top of a tree, looking at the mango and looking at the man also. Before the man takes it straight, flies across and eats the mango. So our Shastras say that the knowledge is like that. It's a straight approach. You don't have to go this way, that way, thinking this, that. So many things we bring in. Ashtasiddhi and what not. That subtle vision, becoming like Hanuman, small, big. Hanuman has got that Ashtasiddhi. So in Lanka he had to demonstrate. Normally they will not demonstrate. In acute, in crisis, such siddhis will be demonstrated. In crisis, to solve things easily, he brought the Gandhamadan Parvat also, it is said, exactly whatever. He was a Vayuputra. Everybody is Vayuputra, is it not? Without Vayu can we live? The prana is Vayu itself. So all of us are Vayuputra, but we are not able to utilize the power of Vayu. So if you do such practice, Tantrika or whatever, Hatha Yogic practice, by which you discovered the power of Vayu, how will you discover? That means you have to incorporate, otherwise you will not know what is that power. So you attain such powers, then you can do that, but by that all this process your ego will go further, that I have become now great and all, so you will miss the goal. So always the spiritualists say that never go for all these things. Ashtasiddhi may sometimes come to you also, but simply reject them. You will fall a prey. It is very difficult to get rid of the bondage created by such things. The other day in Ishopanishad I was saying that they enter farther, greater darkness than even the people who are in the objective world. Those who had taken up that and gone in that, the bondage will be still more, because it is extra, it is rare, it is extra sensory power or something. So you will not be able to come out of it. So you will lose your goal by that. There are many stories of Ramakrishna Deva, also many stories are there. Truly speaking, what is becoming anima, laghima and all, they are all just an appearance in the consciousness. When you attain the consciousness, you can become anything you like. There is a vision, direct vision of the consciousness. It depends on how peaceful you, how settled you are, how less disturbed you are. You will develop great powers. What kind of food you are served. For a saint also, he will be in his most radiant state when he is looked after very well. The food, exactly what he wants, is given to that extent, not much, not less. And also he is surrounded by good people. Those will not try to distract him or make him do this or that. So, because it is all in the consciousness. The whole world is born out of, it's appearing on the consciousness. So nobody who is given to this ultimate path of truth realization will ever be deluded by these powers or so. That is a primary requirement. How to get rid of your guilt of mistakes in the past. जिस तो क्या मिस्टेक है, क्या गिल्ट है, नहीं जानने से कैसे बोलेंगे, तो प्रॉब्लम है. बट इन जनरल अतीत अननुसंधानम भविष्यद अविचारणम औदासीन्यमपि प्राप्तम जीवन मुक्तस्य लक्षणम. दैट सो एक श्लोक है जो बोल रहे हैं कि जीवन मुक्तस्य लक्षणम. लाइक दैट मेनी श्लोकास आर देयर. दिस आर द इंसिग्निया, the characteristics of a Jivan Mukta. See, in spirituality, Mukti means Jivan Mukti. That means becoming liberated while you are alive. It's not that देह छोड़ के चले जाने के बाद मुक्त हो गया. ऐसा नहीं है, मुक्त तो हो गए. But while living itself, you should have the freedom that I am not bound by anything. Any time if the death comes, I am ready to embrace the death equally as I embrace others. Now it says that this is a characteristic of a Jivan Mukta. What are the three characteristics they have stated here? Atita na anusandhanam. Atita na anusandhanam means ananusandhanam. And atita and ananusandhanam together, it becomes atita ananusandhanam. Atita na anusandhanam. Atita ananusandhanam. 432 of Vivek Chudamani, verse number 432. Anusandhanam means research, going behind. Anu means following. Sandhanam means looking into it, search. It is actually a research. That is, never go behind the past. Oh, इसमें क्यों किया था, वो कर दिया, बहुत करते हो गया, क्यों किया. If it is for your correction of the present course, fine. You have to analyze the past to correct your course. But this carrying the sinfulness or a greatness about, or I have done something very great and I feel elated. ऐसे भी लोग हैं जो हमेशा, जो हमने देखा है कि जो ऐसे अभी काम ठीक से नहीं कर सकते हैं, वो लोग ही ज़्यादा बोलते हैं कि हमने ये किया है, वो किया है, वहाँ जाके हमारा बॉस ये बोले थे, द कंपनी गेव मी दिस रिवॉर्ड, दैट रिवॉर्ड. द गो ऑन सेइंग, हमने स्वामी जी के साथ 50 साल थे, 25 साल थे, अरे थे तो क्या हुआ क्या उससे देखना चाहिए ना. It is not by counting the years और काउंटिंग द, वो हमारे मामा थे एक बहुत बड़ा सेंट, तो तुम्हारा क्या हुआ उससे बोलो. एक मामा बहुत बड़ा सेंट होते भी तुम ऐसा क्यों एक बने हुए कुत्ता जैसा. यही तो हाल है ना हमारा. If mama was great, it means that you had greater, you were born with a greater facility. And those who are doing their sadhana, they will never count on this. They will never say whatever greatness is there or not. Generally they will not say unless there is some purpose behind that. So we do atita anusandhanam because of in two ways. One is that sinfulness about the past, kyun ye kiya tha, wo kiya tha, and another is about the bragging or elated about the great things we have done. Both not to be done. Past तो चला गया है, उसके पीछे क्यों जा रहे हैं. भविष्यद अविचारणम. I will do this, I will do that, then it will happen, that will happen, I will become the richest person in the world, or what shall I do, I have to now get married, get my grandchildren married. उसके पहले हम मरना नहीं चाहते हैं. I don't want to die before that, I want to see them well settled. Oh, he is, everything he has done, he has gone to USA and did everything, but he has married wrongly, I have to get a better girl for him and get him married again. So प्लान करते ही रहते फ्यूचर के लिए. So not to imagine the future and ramble in the future, imaginary future. And audasinyam api praptam. Yesterday I said ut means elevated. Ut asinam. Audasinyam is coming from ut asinam. Asinam means sitting. That means seated, lofty seated. That his mind always remain in a lofty position. He doesn't bother about anything happening around by repenting or imagining. जीवन मुक्तस्य लक्षणम. So past guilt अगर कोई है भी, उसके लिए अगर कुछ प्रतिकार है, if you can do something, you do. That should be done. If nothing can be done, simply leave it. Do something by which your mind will feel better. See, our traditional ways are very intelligent. If you go to a, who has given this question? See, if you go to an astrologer and not some karmakandi and tell this, they will say, after calculating and all that they have to do, then they will say that you do this puja. So many Brahmins to be fed and this yaga has to be done, that yaga is to be done. But they are applying a very efficient, simple principle. What is that? Causality. How is the cause and effect chain working here? You have done something in the past. That is the cause here. Whatever reason behind that also there are causes. But you have done something wrong. And that is producing now effect, maybe after 40 years also. You are suffering thinking of that, means it is the effect of the cause there. Now you will go on suffering by that chain. It's called karma also. This is our karma theory. So to break that chain, you introduce some new cause there, causal element there. You do this yaga, propitiate that deva, and you may do a longer, if you do a longer ceremony, it will be, effect will be more, because you have to involve you more. So in that chain you are introducing a new karma or new cause which will make you feel more confident about it. So you cannot do anything with the previous causality it is flowing, but you can definitely add a new element over there which will annul that. Just like pulling thorn with the other thorn. You add a new karma there so that this karmic effect is annulled there and you are free of the repentance or whatever you are suffering from. But for a spiritual person, you can always think in a direct term that, oh, this was the case and this happened. At that time I could not think in any other manner, so it happened. happen like that. Suppose why the Shraddha is there? Shraddha is not for the dead person, it is for the living person. Because when the father was living, most of the sons will be misbehaving with the father. Especially if he is in old age, the son will do so many things, coming back and, वो तो अभी बुढ़ा हो गए उनका क्या. One day suppose the father asked for some sweets to be taken. हाँ, बुढ़ा हो गया, diabetes है, sweet खाना चाहते हैं. And you did not bring the sweet. Next day the father died. Then you start thinking that, अरे क्या होता था, एक दो रसगुल्ला खिला देते तो रसगुल्ला खाते खाते मर जाते थे. ये हमने क्या किया कि उनको लास्ट जो वासना थी वो भी पूर्ण नहीं किया कर पाए. सो यू विल डेफिनेटली, आई एम स्पीकिंग स्माइलिंगली बट दिस आर रियल प्रॉब्लम फॉर पीपल. यू विल गो ऑन सफरिंग फॉर दैट. सो व्हाट शुड यू डू? श्राद्ध में बहुत कुछ बताया गया है, लेकिन स्वामी जी को पूछेंगे तो स्वामी जी बोलेंगे आपका पिताजी जो कुछ पसंद करते थे वो अपने जीवन में करो. Then through that you will feel the presence of your father, and by that you will relieved of whatever lack of love or sympathy or whatever you have not done during that time. That will be fulfilled by doing whatever the father wanted. If father was very happy in welcoming guest, feeding, you do it thinking of your father, not for yourself, but thinking of your father you do it. If father wanted to help the students, poor students, you do that, that the good come. खराब जो किया है उसको सोचना नहीं. मतलब if father killed some person, you should not kill another person to satisfy your father. Not like that. So these are all very intelligent devices are there which can be done for. So as such, atita ananusandhanam. Don't go behind the past. Bhavishyada vicharanam. Audasinnamapi praptam jivan muktasya lakshanam. He always remains in the present. You will find now modern writers, they always talk about living in present, living in present. What does it mean? The present is zero. Is it not? Any measurement of time, if you measure, if you can measure 10 to the power minus 12 seconds, that much is past, that much is future. You measure it to 10 to the power minus 100, that much is past. That the limit, if calculus limit, if you find out, the limit of present is zero, because anything can become past and the future. Now it is not zero. What we have to, why spirituality is coming here? Because the zero is actually the beyond time, transcending time. It is infinity also, eternal also. The soul or the Atma or the ultimate truth or consciousness, that does not change with time at all. It is transcending time. It transcends time. That is the present state, we say. In spirituality, present doesn't mean that the present tense in that sense. It means eternal, immortal. There is nothing in the world which is eternal or immortal. It is only true of our own identity, the consciousness, which is not part of the world. The world is only appearing in that. इतनी बड़ी बड़ी बात करने से क्या फायदा है? कुछ मिल रहा है नहीं? Are you gaining anything, or it's only wordy? And know that the clarity is the last thing in spirituality. It's not available easily anywhere. No, it will go on. If you can appreciate that, you can easily cultivate, and it takes time to go forward. But it doesn't matter how much time it takes, because the path becomes so fulfilling, joyful. Every time you get clarity, an opening, an expansion, you become fulfilled with that. इतना सारा लगेज रखे हो, उसको उतारो ना थोड़ा. बच्चा जैसा बन जाओ. Be like a small girl. Can you not be? Huh? Unnecessarily we are carrying. In Bengali we have a small couplet which says that ও খোকা তোর মাথায় কিরে আমের ঝাঁকা খাস না কেন দাঁতে পোকা বিলোস না কেন ওরে বাবা. In Bengali, any Bengali is there? No. Sanjay is there. A little boy is moving with a huge basket on his head. Small boy, such a big basket on the head. So the person is asking that, oh my little boy, khoka. Khoka means in Bengali the small boy. हाँ? हिंदी में क्या बोलता है? बच्चा. हाँ. अरे तुम्हारे सिर में इतना बड़ा एक बास्केट क्यों रखे हो? Why are you carrying such a huge? What is there in it? What is there in it? Amer jhaka means it's full of mangoes, ripe mangoes. Oh, you are carrying the mangoes always like this. Why don't you eat? The burden will be gone. If you eat the mangoes, then the burden will lessen. So he said, no, I have crevices in my teeth, so I cannot eat the sweet mangoes. Then give it to others. You have to get rid of a load. So then, Biloshna Kaname, why don't you distribute it? Ore Baba. That means, how can I distribute it? This is our state, that we are suffering with the burden, neither we can use it, enjoy it, nor you can give it to others also. Ore Baba, कैसे दिया जाएगा? No, actually I went into deeper level from here because this is also being in the present, that is, don't loiter in the past or future, but always remain in an elevated state. Whatever comes to be done, you go on doing. Yada yat kattum ayati tada tat kurute riju. Shubham vapi ashubham vapi tasya cheshta hi balavat. Abhi jo bol rahe the. Even our Shastras say that whether it is auspicious or inauspicious, doesn't matter at that time. Shubham vapi, ashubham vapi. Sometimes one has to do some inauspicious work also. Suppose the war. It has, as a work, it is not auspicious, you have to kill people. But you have to kill for the higher purpose. So such a person can do that also for the higher purpose. It doesn't bother him. Yada yatkattum ayati tada tat kurute riju. Whatever comes to be done at any time, do it in a straightforward manner. Because it is not related to your swartha, that you want to do something or you have a desire for something, you want to gain something, nothing. It has to be done for some purpose. Not always directly dharma, like Yudhishthira could not do that. झूठ बोलना है, हम झूठ नहीं बोल पाएंगे, ईगो है उनका बहुत बड़ा. I am satyavadi, I cannot speak a lie. So I cannot say that Ashwathama hata. उसके लिए क्या करना पड़ा? एक एलिफेंट को नाम दो अश्वत्थामा, उसको मारो, कितना ज़्यादा पाप और भी बढ़ गया, उसको मारो, फिर जाके उनके पास जाके बोलो कि अश्वत्थामा हता इति गजा. अश्वत्थामा हता जोर से बोलो, इति गजा थोड़ा सा कम करके बोलो. और उस समय दूसरों को बता दिया कि तुम ड्रम बिट करो, उसमें ड्रम लगा दिया, इति गजा गॉट हिडन. So is it that by that anything got changed? Is it not an equal and a more lie than what Krishna wanted him to say? Straightforward he could have spoken the lie, but Yudhishthira's ego will not allow it. So उनके लिए एक रास्ता है. हम बोलते हैं ना, कोई ऐसे जाता है, वो सेम लाई, सेम झूठी बोले, लेकिन उनको घुमाना पड़ा. एक एलिफेंट को नाम दो, मारो, और उसको जाके ये बोलो, उस समय ड्रम बजाओ, ये सब करना पड़ेगा. But once he knows that the purpose, what is the purpose of that lie? Only to kill Drona. So straightforward you say, if you don't have the ego, if you are gunatita, then you will be able to do that also. Arjuna could do whatever he told. There are enough examples of that. He tried to do at least. That is why Gita is given to Arjuna, not to Yudhishthira. Prabuddham vimuktam vikaradihinam prasannam sada nitya bodhasvarupam param nishchalam nirgunam sarvarupam bhajeham sadanusmarami pranami. Prabuddham vimuktam vikaradihinam param nishchalam nirgunam sarvarupam bhajeham sadanusmarami pranam.